is pleased to bring you our feature presentation.
To return some videotapes. 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 Videotapes.
Glow Video.
Here we
I think
are.
we're having a lag there. Welcome back to Strange Glow Video. My name is Justin. With me, as always, is my co-host extraordinaire, Alec, and Kitties.
Yeah, this is Darwin today. He's on my lap. Yoshi's over on the tower, lounging like a lingerie model.
Is he wearing lingerie?
He may or may not be.
Yeah, it's probably not anyone's business.
No. But we're talking some Arnold tonight, I guess.
Yeah, we're going to talk to... Some people would define this as an 80s classic, a staple 80s movie. I don't, and it's because I just never watched this growing up. Somehow this was not on my Arnold Schwarzenegger watch list as a kid. Watched a lot of Terminator 2. Twins. We watched a lot of Twins. Man.
Yeah, The Running Man, I didn't see it till I was an adult, but I was like, where have you been on? The style of this movie is... I'm very into it. It's like a great double feature with Total Recall, you know?
Yeah, it's definitely got those vibes.
Production value, especially, like... And, so where do you want to start here? With the original movie that we're obviously mentioning the book and the remake itself, and I guess we'll just get into those when I get into it.
Yeah, so obviously there's another version of this movie coming out this year. It's scheduled to release November, I want to say around November 7th.
Yeah. What's cool about that is the director is Edgar Wright. And I know you're not as crazy about Edgar Wright as me, but he's in my top 5 modern directors for sure.
I'm excited. I'm excited for this.
Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, Scott Pilgrim, The World's End. He was set to direct Ant-Man originally, but they had issues. I think it was based on he did not want appearances from other MCU movies. He was like, can we just chill? But I don't know the full story. Then he did Baby Driver, which I loved, but like I haven't watched since because of Kevin Spacey. It's just too recent.
Yeah, that goes back to separating the art from the artist. Like sometimes that shit's difficult to do, but I mean, there's plenty of people that won't watch any John Landis films, and there's people that won't watch any fucking Bob Gale shit for Back to the Future stuff based on how they've handled things and done shitty things to people.
Yeah, I feel that. Those aren't over. The John Landis thing wasn't like he was being evil. He was just being stupid and careless and
yeah,
like it's if he ever, I don't know. I've never heard him talk about it. I don't go out of my way to watch his movies, but like there's a few of them, like Blues Brothers. I don't see this as a John Landis movie. I see it as a Dan Aykroyd movie. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
the way I watch it anyway, I understand that he directed it, and there's other ones that he's done too. But yeah. But then he did Last Night in Soho, which I actually still haven't seen. But
oh really? Okay.
I heard that one was really good too. But he's doing this one, which is very fascinating. I don't know. Have you seen Scott Pilgrim vs. the World?
Yeah, I have it on DVD.
That one, I think it's going to be pretty vibe similar to that. I mean, it's not going to be that. It's going to definitely have its own tone and whatnot. But like, I can see how translating from that to this is going to be very interesting, I think.
Yeah, and there's as far as it being based off a TV series, like a televised show, I think that makes sense from the Scott Pilgrim world, especially with the colors, when you think about the cinematography and the color grading and the color choices and the style for that, I think a lot of that aesthetic could very well work with this.
Yeah.
Now, the
And
interesting piece is that the movie, the 87 movie, is drastically different than the book that it's based off of. In a
always
way
is.
that, but in a way that's like just very fucking loosely based on it. Another example of that to me would almost be, and I'd say this is even worse, but the Lost World Jurassic Park. The book is very much on the island the entire time, whereas the movie, like halfway through the movie, goes to San Diego, and then you get some chaos on the mainland. Okay. Because I just finished reading this book. I was at the bookstore the other day when I picked up Goldeneye on VHS in a sealed copy. That was very nice. But I found The Running Man there. I was looking through the Stephen King stuff. I was looking for a excuse me, I can't talk tonight. A Ray Bradbury novel. He wrote Fahrenheit 451. He also wrote a book on Halloween that I was looking for. Trying to find it. I mean, I can get it super cheap on Amazon, but I was just trying to buy it from a local shop. So,
Yeah.
they didn't have that, but I found this. You know, it was in the Stephen King section, but by Richard Bachman, which is a pen name he used for non-horror stuff. And having just read it, the style of writing is drastically different than that, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah. I haven't read the book for The Running Man yet, so
I was surprised. Like, you know, it's like 400 pages or 411 pages. And I was thinking, okay, this is going to take some time. But the way the chapters are broken up, it's doing a countdown from 99 down to 0. And it reads really fast. I was surprised how fast I got through it. So
it's funny. Just a note here. I'm looking at the movies Wikipedia right now. I didn't realize that Harold Faltermeyer did the music.
Yeah, it's interesting because Harold Faltermeyer did a lot of stuff in the 80s. You know, I think he also did the Beverly Hills theme.
Yeah,
Beverly Hills Cop thing.
Part of Top Gun.
Yeah, he did the original Top Gun theme as far as the music score goes. And to me, that's the Top Gun is probably my favorite scoring he's done overall.
Yeah.
But that's probably also because I've listened to it the most. And then obviously the Beverly Hills Cop theme is very, very catchy. So like he's very talented, but he's not one of those names that comes up all the time because I think some of his stuff is just hit or miss. Like listening to this, I just like, and I don't have nostalgic ties to it. So that could have thrown me off a bit too, as I just wasn't in love with the score of this. It was like, oh, okay, it's decent enough.
Yeah, it's okay. That's what I'll say about it. It didn't hit like it could have, but you know.
For when you see Arnold, right, and you think about what Arnold's done, especially with the Terminator franchise, like the music is so fucking iconic for Terminator. It just feels like this movie could have really upped the ante with a more iconic score. And again, that's coming from me. Like if you have nostalgic ties to this, there may be music notes in that really stick with you, but there wasn't anything in there that I was like, oh, I want to add that to a playlist or add it to like my film score playlist. So
I got cat hair in my mouth from petting this guy. I'm getting it everywhere.
Yeah, so this book comes out in 1982. The movie came out in 87, so you're looking at, 5-year turnaround for a book to be made into a movie, which is pretty quick at the time. And takes place in 2025, at least the book does. I think the first movie takes place in 2017.
Yeah.
But that immediately caught my attention because, obviously we've got some modern day turmoil in the way the world is operating right now, especially the United States. So to read a dystopian book about the future while living in alternate timeline future, really,
no, it really is very hilarious because Donald Trump took office in both 2017 and 2025.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this dystopian portion of this is very real right now. And as a fan of those types of books, I love Fahrenheit 451. Those types of books, 1984, all these things.
Yeah.
To really get those vibes. And this one's good. I don't know if it's quite as classic as that, but it's Stephen King writing a genre style on purpose. So I think it works very well for what it is.
Yeah.
So in the book, it's drastically different. Like he volunteers to go into this thing volunteers to go through the audition process to get on the show because his daughter's sick. Medicine's hard to come by, and he wants his daughter to live. And trying to get on the TV show, right? And there's a bunch of TV shows, and you get some of those vibes in the movie, which works out pretty well.
Yeah.
Um,
It's funny. I was actually just watching one of those shows last night. It just came out a second season on Netflix called Outlast. You seen
oh,
that?
really?
It's actually produced by Jason Bateman, which I found interesting. But they drop a bunch of people off in Alaska, and whoever's on the last remaining team gets to split $1 million. So there's no teams to begin with, and the only rule is that you have to be on a team, so you can't be by yourself.
Okay.
And everybody has a flair, so when they're sick or like done, they're like, I'm over it. They can leave and shit, and you get down to the last group of people. We watched the whole second season last night, but
Okay, I heard someone talking about that. There was, and maybe it was like on TMZ or something, because with all the bad news in the world, sometimes I like to read entertainment news. TMZ usually doesn't let you down, but I think someone was like trying to root him on the show and had to get off of there, and I heard about the flare gun thing, so that's vaguely familiar. So I'll have to check that out.
yeah, there was some interesting shit. Them fucking betrayal, like these three dudes, like there was 48 hours to go, and they learned this, but they didn't tell this other dude, and they were like, yeah, you should go home, dude. We don't know if you can last.
Oh yeah, one less person to split the money with, huh?
Yeah.
Fucking brutal.
They were from Texas.
Yay, capitalism.
Exactly.
I'll go all Austin Powers on it. So the other thing that,
capitalist pigs will finally pay for their crimes, eh, comrade?
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
but,
fucking classic.
Let's talk
So-
about some of these roles. Obviously, Arnold is pretty Arnoldy. Like, there's not even
Arnold
another
is-
way to describe it.
Arnold is classic.
Yeah. No, it works. Where it's funny to me and he sticks out is movies like Jingle All the Way,
Uh-huh.
where he's just like a dad in an office and he's like, I have to get home to my wife. You're my number one customer.
Mhm.
That shit is goofy, but like it works in movies like this.
It does. And this movie has a bunch of one-liners, like punchlines and stuff like that are really cheesy, but they work. Like I wasn't cringing at them.
Yeah.
It's very much a sign of the time, though. And you're basically making a movie about people being on a TV show where the point is to kill people. So,
Right.
okay. Like,
And,
okay.
like,
so-
Actiony
I'm good with
Arnold
that.
sci-fi movies are marketed obviously more towards men, and even more
Mhm.
than men, probably teenage boys. So like you got to have those kind of lines and like funny
yeah.
badassery.
So,
Speaking of, let's talk about some of these stalkers.
yeah, the Stalkers. You got Jim Brown as Fireball, which is an interesting character. You
Yeah,
got
he's fun.
Jesse the Body Ventura as Captain Freedom.
Which rules?
Yeah.
That's it. Also, you know what this also reminds me of is Idiocracy. To be honest,
There's Idiocracy vibes, and then when you like look in the TV world and you see the advertisements, it very much was screaming to me Scrooged.
oh, Scrooged. I would even
Yeah.
say like RoboCop a little bit.
Uh-huh.
Like all of these
Yeah.
sort of funny dystopian, like RoboCop's 87 too. That's
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yaphet Kotto is not a stalker, but he is like his buddy there, William.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's good. Uh,
My favorite stalker. Can you guess?
What's this? The chainsaw, buzzsaw,
No, Dynamo.
dynamo. Oh yeah.
Dynamo fucking rule. And what sucks is that guy died later that year in 1987.
Oh no shit. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
he did.
Fucking bummer. Erland Van Lith. But he rules in this movie. He's my favorite. Has like that fucking neon outfit, dude. That's the coolest outfit of all time.
Yeah, he died of heart failure a few months after finishing his work on Running Man and one day after his first wedding anniversary. That's fucking brutal, man.
Yeah.
Oof.
That's my favorite. But then there's also Professor Toru Tanaka as Sub-Zero,
Mm-hmm.
which is like the first one I think they face with the,
Yeah, in the hockey rink. Yeah.
which is just awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So obviously, when they did the movie version of this, like you have these, what they call them hunters in the book, and they're not like silly cartoon characters or anything like that. It's just basically like kind of a team of people that are hunting him, and he can go anywhere in the world basically. And he has to record himself and mail tapes in every so often, otherwise he's disqualified. So it's pretty fascinating to see like the book compared to that. And there's some shit in the book that I really hope makes the new movie, but we'll see. Really.
Yeah.
What do you think of Amber Mendez's character, or the character Amber Mendez anyway? Because she gets him into this whole thing, right? And then she has a change of heart when she realizes like they're being manipulated.
Yeah. It's been a few weeks since I watched this, so I can't even remember like the fine details of that, because this movie is just a fun movie to me. Like, I don't even pay attention to like all the small details. I'm just like, explosions, fun outfits. Arnold is looking like fucking Kill Bill.
Yeah, so this movie's about an hour and 40 minutes, give or take. And the pacing of it's pretty good because it doesn't feel like the setup takes that long, but there's plenty of time to set everything up, right? You know, you got to have obviously the beginning of the movie that feels very much like Arnold in his Predator role, little helicopter commando, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then we see that they manipulate that and say that he killed all these people that he didn't really kill.
Yeah.
And goes to a prison camp, escapes the prison camp, then gets picked up later on. And then the network drones want to put him on TV, which is pretty fascinating. Like I said, the pace picks up pretty good. And then Amber lives in his brother's old apartment. So that's why he goes in there and breaks in on her. Now, the weird thing is that such an 80s thing. She's literally fucking working out in basically like a lingerie slip almost. You're like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Even though they have everyone like later on in the show doing all these dance and leotards and stuff, I'm just like, such a strange thing in 80s movies, man.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of
like, what
strange people,
yeah.
Richard Dawson as the host, Damon Killian.
Mm-hmm.
Richard Dawson, famous for being the creepy host of Family Feud.
Yep. Yeah, he does a good job being a TV host. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. I will say what's very interesting about that is in the new movie, that's going to be a role by Josh Brolin.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Damon Killian in 87 Running Man. And this one, it's Dan Killian. I wonder.
There's definitely some name changes throughout the version of this and that. So
is that character that's in? What was that?
I don't remember the character's name in the book off the top of my head, just because after just watching the movie and reading the book, like at the same time, it's a little fuzzy there. But basically, you have
Arnold's both of the characters are still named Ben Richards, so it's, you know, and they are called hunters in the new movie as well, I've noted.
Yeah. The hunters are hired to kill him.
So I will note in the new cast, I want to talk about Sarah as Bradley Throckmorton, a rebel who helps Ben. I'm just excited for that. That'll be fun for me.
Who's that?
Michael Cera.
Oh, Michael Cera. Okay, yeah, I see.
But then you also got
Lee
Macy.
Yeah. So Lee Pace plays Evan McCone. Evan McCone doesn't even show up in the Arnold version of the movie. He's the lead hunter.
Okay, well that just proves that it's going to be a little different than what we were. That's interesting.
Yep. And so when you're doing something like this, you know, I know we all get tired of like, oh, remakes and things like that. When you're remaking when you're remaking something that's based on a book, you have a little more leeway because the first time they did not follow the book. You know, the first just took the very basic concept and use some character names and kind of fit it to what their vision was. Okay, that's fine. And then obviously, I don't expect this to be a direct adaptation of the book. I expect it to be more focused on the books than the last movie was, but also have plenty of leeway. And then as a movie that is coming out in 2025 based on a book written in 1982, I imagine some of the technology and things like that are going to have to be considered for, how they play the story out, which is perfectly fine.
It says here too that Dan Killian is the show's producer. Coleman Domingo plays Bobby Thompson, the host of the Running Man show.
Yep.
Coleman Domingo was in Fear the Walking Dead. He was actually nominated for an Oscar this year, I think. He's a really good, interesting actor, though.
Yeah, he is. What did I see him in? He was in a TV series I watched, and he was really fucking good in that.
Fear the Walking Dead, if you haven't watched it, like the first 2 seasons of it are really good. After that, I kind of lost interest, but it's about the beginning of the zombie apocalypse, and he's...
Yeah, I saw the first 2 seasons of that Fear the Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's in it throughout the whole show, but...
Okay.
And this is very interesting. He played a gay character in that, and he is actually gay in real life. I love that for him.
Yeah.
Been married since 2014. Sick. Anyway, Running Man. Jesse Ventura as Captain Freedom, of course, is like he's the Chekhov's gun of this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, he gets to play. Here's an interesting one. Did you notice this? Mick Fleetwood is in this movie as the leader of the Resistance. Mick.
Oh yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
From Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah.
Didn't know bro ever acted. Didn't ever occur to me.
No, and he was pretty good as the Resistance leader.
Yeah.
Like, he was fine. He showed up, and then, he's like really criticizing Ben Richards. So I was like, okay, that's cool.
And then our good old buddy, old pal, old friend Kurt Fuller.
Basically playing the same fucking character he plays in Ghostbusters 2 and countless other movies. Just like the fucking crony. Like he's not flat out evil, but he's also like enabling people to be shitty people. So you're just like, okay, man.
He's not flat out evil in Wayne's World, is he?
I mean, he still is kind of there fucking them over. He knows they're being fucked over and he's okay with it.
He knows they're being fucked over, but then I think, doesn't he like, shit, I don't know.
I mean, I think they kind of have by the end, I don't think he's the villain we thought he was. You know what I mean? But he's kind of playing that goofy character there. Yeah, so. Interesting
what else?
Thing in this movie that as it's happening in real life right now, they talk about overlaying the computer generated model to make everyone think they killed Ben. So basically, they're just doing a deep fake.
Yeah.
And that's pretty fucking fascinating. Like seeing that at the time, because they have someone that goes in there and looks like him and they murder him on TV and they overlay it. Everyone's like, oh yeah, we got him.
That is genuinely frightening to think about, isn't it?
When you think about how many sci-fi movies haven't predicted shit that are accurate, this one has some shit that's pretty on point. That deepfake technology is basically one of them. Like, you could do that fast enough now that you could basically put that to air and trick people.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's pretty crazy that was in there.
Yeah, absolutely wild. Let me see here. What else we got? I watched this on DVD. That's what I have it on. I don't think I have a VHS of it.
I haven't come across it on VHS. I imagine that's a pretty popular one.
I do have Total Recall.
That's also another popular one. I feel like any of the Arnold stuff has a good VHS value still. Besides, maybe
some of it's really, it's printed a lot. So like Total Recall, that's like a 1999 release.
Yeah. Well, I feel like Terminator's like one of the ones you can get super cheap because they just printed that and printed that and printed that, right? So
Yeah. It's also one of the most sought after tapes, though. Like Terminator is like the thing to watch on VHS. But I have 3 different versions of Terminator on VHS. Like,
nice.
so yeah. Big Terminator fan. You want to switch gears?
Yeah, I mean, when we talk about the book compared to the movie, there's some shit in the movie that doesn't end up in this movie that I'm really curious about. And it's like very much almost 9/11-ish, I would say.
Hmm.
So in the book, and spoilers if you haven't read the book, you know, we've been spoiling it the whole time. So hopefully you know how we're all about here. But in the book, he's on the run and he gets a disguise, and then he's hanging out at a YMCA, and he realizes like they're there and they're almost going to kill him. So he sneaks down to the basement of this place, jumps into a sewer pipe, but fucking blows the building up on the way out.
Yeah.
Blows the entire building up. Kills a bunch of like police and cops and shit. So then, you know, like the people that are fans of the show are really pissed. Not a big deal, right? Okay, you know, we've seen that before. But the way the fucking book ends, the thing that I really want to talk about is he kidnaps a woman only for his own survival. Has a couple of kids help him along the way to try to get where he's going. And he hijacks a plane. Well, not even hijacks a plane. He makes them think that he's got a bomb, so they give him an airplane with the crew to fly him wherever he wants to go. And then he says, you know, I'm not going to go up there and just have you shoot the plane down, because he takes the girl hostage knowing that they won't kill her on TV. Then he even calls the news crew on himself and says where he's at and where he's going, so they won't just kill him, because otherwise they'd kill her and say they got him and lie, because that's half what the network's doing, is they're lying about people dying and all kinds of stuff. Gets into this airplane. By then he's kind of hurt up and, you know, fucking crashes the fucking airplane into the news station building.
Sick as fuck. Edgar Wright, let's go, baby.
I'm like, ooh, that'd be such a fucking ballsy move to do as a movie. And I think we're ready for it. You know, they've made
been long
9/11
enough.
movies. They've made 9/11 movies about that. And anyone that says otherwise needs to take it up with the media, because I seen those planes hit those towers
More times than I've
hundreds
seen my
upon
own penis, probably.
I've probably seen those planes hit the tower more than I've seen the movie Ghostbusters. And I've watched Ghostbusters a lot.
Yeah.
But they just fucking kept replaying that and replaying that and replaying that and replaying that. So if you can replay the real thing, like, do what you want in a movie. That's all I'm saying. Might be controversial, might be a hot take, but I'm saying don't be afraid. It's 2025. Live dangerously.
Yeah.
But that was intense. Like this, that's how the book ends, and you're like, holy fuck. Because the whole thing is he has to survive 30 days in the book. So he has to survive 30 days and mail these tapes in. He has to mail in 2 tapes a day or whatever, so that he doesn't disqualify himself. And he's on the run. And, you know, you only make it, I think, like 10 or 11 days into this whole 30-day ordeal. But if he wins, he gets a shitload of fucking money. And obviously no one's ever won before. And then even in the book, they talk about him surpassing everyone else. And they do offer him to come on as a hunter because of his cunningness and like all the shit that he's gotten away with and outlasted anyone else on the show.
Yeah. Which they do in the movie too.
Yep. Yeah. So that's one similar thing they do there. So there's a few things that, you know, carry over. But reading the ending of that book, I was just like, holy fucking shit. Like, because when I was reading this, I was like, oh, this is going to be the typical thing, like where, you know, he wins the prize money at the end by going the 30 days and, you know, says, fuck you, and brings everything down and saves his daughter and his wife and all that shit. And that's, you know, that's not the case. He fucking takes out the network. So pretty fucking wild.
Sick.
Now I can honestly say I don't think they're going to go with that ending right now, but Man, the fucking balls they would have to fucking do that ending.
Yeah, let's see it.
Mm-hmm. Just do it. Just do it. What's the worst people could say? You didn't like that? I mean, they made a whole movie on the Titanic where fucking shitload of people died.
He's a British director. Let him do it.
Yeah, yeah, he's allowed. Yeah, see, he's got a card.
And even relevant to his life.
Nah. So that was the thing about reading that book that I was like, holy fucking shit. And the other thing that's really cool in the book that they didn't have in the movie is they have these cars. They're called air cars. So I don't know if they're supposed to be like floating cars, but you know, they don't run on gas, so they don't go as fast. But I think they're like, it's just part of the story there where he has to get a car and is driving.
They do have some cars that don't drive as fast. Like Dynamo's driving like a fucking go-kart with a shell over it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. But this movie felt like, you know, the 87 version felt like they took the concept from the book and mixed it with American Gladiator. And this movie is gory, but it's not like super gory in the way that a horror movie could have been. Like, I wonder if they do the Edgar Wright version and do it like super gory, you know, because you get some really cool, you know, you get that cool chainsaw death. And that's one of the best ones on there. But even that doesn't show much, right? You know, they're just like, okay, here we go. It's an R-rated movie. Just go with it, man. Just do it.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I'm just hoping it keeps some of like the weird neon flair that this movie has.
I hope they do that to the dystopian future and kind of show that off. And then the lady that he kidnaps in the book is like kind of from a wealthier area, but most people are just fucking poor and starving. So they also took that into the Arnold movie.
Yeah, I know.
But Arnold's also like a super commando elite, where this guy's just an everyday guy that's, you know, in his 30s or whatever, almost 30. So
yeah, that makes sense. Glenn Powell's more fit to play that role than Arnold, like a more average type guy, but like still take over an Arnold role, like without being somebody who looks like the fucking Rock or something ridiculous. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like Glenn Powell's fucking ripped, but he's not like overly muscular, right? You know, it doesn't. If you hadn't seen him fucking parading around in Top Gun Maverick, you probably wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Or half the other movies he's done. What was that other movie he did?
Twisters, where he's in a, you know, walking in the rain, shirtless. Or
Yeah,
not
that
shirtless,
one too.
but like the white
Changing
T-shirt
shirt.
in the rain
Yeah.
and shit.
Yeah.
But you know, Colin Farrell took over for Arnold in the Total Recall remake, which is not a great movie. It is like worth watching once. I think it has some interesting visuals and stuff, and I like Colin Farrell more than a lot of people. I think he's very underrated, but
yeah, I didn't love the remake of that, but it was interesting. So
I like I said, I liked visual elements of it because I just like interesting neon futures. I think they're fun. But that being said, I never watched Blade Runner 2049 again because really I was just like, I don't want to stop putting Jared Leto in shit. I don't even know if I'm going to see the new Tron movie, and that's a bummer because Evan Peters is in it, which makes me really want to see it.
Yeah, fucking Jared Leto, man.
Nine Inch Nails is doing the soundtrack for it too. That's an upgrade from Daft Punk, if you ask me.
You know what? I might see it if someone will do me the favor of deep faking someone in place of Jared Leto. So once the home video release comes out, if someone deep fakes Jared Leto out of it with somebody we like, I'll watch it.
Could be anybody.
Yeah.
And since you're deep faking, could be a younger version of anybody too.
Well, fuck. Just do me a young version of Trent Reznor in there.
Yeah,
that'd be fucking cool. Like early Nine Inch Nails concert version of Trent Reznor.
That'd be
deep
fun.
fake him in there instead of Jared Leto when we're game. Because Jared Leto is one of those people that just should not be allowed to act anymore. All the fucking weird sex cult shit that he's into and everything else allegedly, you know, it's like, come on now.
Yeah, no, I'm over that guy.
Yeah. Way overrated. The only thing I don't hate Jared Leto in is Fight Club. And Fight Club's not a movie I watch all the time.
Yeah, that's just
And
because he gets his face smashed in.
Okay. And it's got
Yeah.
Meatloaf in it, you know, so it's a pretty solid movie.
Meatloaf, though, again, I love Meatloaf, but that dude died of COVID because he was anti-vax.
Well,
Which is, I'm laughing about it, which is a bummer because I liked Meatloaf. You know, I'm into that dude, but 'cause he's in Rocky Horror.
yeah, Rocky Horror. I mean, fucking Bat Out of Hell's a great fucking record.
Yeah,
You know, like the guy did some interesting shit. But I won't get vaxxed.
yeah.
Yep. Interesting.
What were we talking about? How did we get on Meatloaf? Oh, Fight Club. Oh, I was gonna say
Yeah.
Jared Leto in American Psycho as well, but again, he gets killed. So
Yeah, in those earlier roles, I think that was before he had enough money and influence to be a sex cult leader, allegedly.
yeah,
So you're just like, okay. It's like the band Aiden. Like I used to like the band Aiden and even William Control. And then you're just like, I can't listen to any of that anymore because knowing that he's such a fucking creeper.
yeah,
Same thing with Brand New. Like, can't listen to Brand New anymore, knowing he's a fucking creeper. There's just like whole things that are just fucking wiped out of existence because someone's a shitty person.
yeah. There's so many of those bands too.
Uh huh. Fucking internet culture. And it would be one thing to try to forgive somebody if they fucking ever admitted they were a piece of shit, apologized. We're trying to get help. We're trying to make amends and do that, but no one ever wants to fucking do that. They just want to fucking victim blame or fucking pretend like it didn't happen. And that's a whole problem in itself. So, you know. I have high hopes for this new movie, Running Man. Excited for that to come out. And I think it's one of those movies that's like, I'll rewatch this one because I've only seen the original a few times now. Just because, you know, I hear people talking about it all the time. Oh, it's a classic. It's a classic. And it's like, it's fun enough.
I don't
You
think
know?
you enjoyed it as much as me, for sure. But like, I don't know. I just connect with these style of movies. Like, if I'm gonna watch Arnold in
Yeah.
like an action movie, I would prefer it to be an action sci-fi movie. And
That's
obviously,
fair.
the peaks of that is Terminator and Predator. Both of those are highly. I mean, first Terminator is a little more horror-y, but it's action, horror, sci-fi,
Yeah.
and then Predator is kind of all three of those too, a little bit even.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's
mean-
this Total Recall, and then you have his other more standard movies he did in the 80s, like Commando and I don't know, some shit like that, like Conan.
I mean, I fucking love Last Action Hero, and people pan that movie. That movie is fucking amazing.
But that's like a satire comedy of action movies. It's like a comedy action movie for sure.
Yes, but
and
it
that
also
movie's
gets your attention of being a movie within a movie and all this other shit. And like as a kid, you're like, you always envision yourself being in that movie world. And I'm like, fuck, man, that movie really speaks to people.
yeah,
And
I
then-
love that one too. I probably like it a little more than this one, but that's because it is that mystical. It's like almost. I don't know. The only way to describe it is like Spielbergian. It has
Yeah.
a tiny bit of that quality to it,
Mm-hmm.
of like this magic movie theater and this
Yeah, the
magical
magic,
movie
yeah.
ticket and shit. Like, very fun, mystical. I like it.
Yeah, I
Have
mean,
that
if
on
you had to
tape
do
somewhere.
top 10 Arnold movies, would this be in your top 10?
Personally, yes.
Okay.
I don't know. Let me go pull up his discography. I can tell you my top 10. His discography.
As you've been working on a record, in case anyone's wondering why
Yeah.
you're saying discography. Alec has a new record in the works for his band, Another Green World. It'll be coming out sometime
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
next
Let's
couple
see.
months, I'd imagine.
Yeah, what is it? It's in the middle of April at this point. middle of May to end of May or June at this point. Just for
Yeah.
like once you upload, it has to process and takes a couple weeks to get it on services. So you have to upload it fairly early. So
Yeah,
even once I
instead.
finish, it'll be like a 2 weeks from then probably. But anyway, top 10 in no order: Terminator, Predator, Running Man, Total Recall, Terminator 2, Last Action Hero. End of Days.
End of Days is good.
I like End of Days enough.
I saw that in theaters when it came out. Like, it's not an amazing movie when I rewatched it, but for a fucking weird, to your point, a weird sci-fi monster horror / combo, it fucking works for me.
And I haven't seen The Sixth Day or Collateral Damage, but I'm interested in them.
Mm-hmm.
The Sixth Day is another. He's booping VHS tapes and knocks them over.
Oh shit.
But that's one seems very interesting. It says in the film, a family man of the future is illegally cloned by accident as part of a vast conspiracy involving a shady billionaire businessman. It is thrust into a struggle to clear his name and protect his family from the conspirators who seek to keep the cloning a secret. Sounds like an Arnold movie to me.
Hell yeah.
And then in Collateral Damage, I don't know if you've seen that, tells the story of LA firefighter Gordon Brewer, who seeks to avenge his son and wife's deaths at the hands of a guerrilla commando by traveling to Colombia and facing his family's killers.
Yeah, he's got some action movies that I just haven't watched yet. So,
I actually liked The Last Stand. I don't know if you saw that one.
he plays the sheriff.
Yeah, he's like the sheriff that's in that small town.
Yeah,
That one
Yeah, I
was
saw
pretty
that one.
decent.
yeah.
Shit, what were my numbers again?
I have no idea. You weren't numbering them off as you went. So,
I was had my hands up.
oh, okay.
Terminator, Commando, Predator, Running Man, Total Recall, Terminator 2, Last Action Hero, End of Days. Probably Jingle All the Way, True Lies, and Batman and Robin. Or just True Lies. Batman and Robin will have to have been at 11.
Fuck,
But that's not because it's great. That's just because it's fun.
yeah. Because I mean, that's like one of the worst movies ever made, but it's entertaining to watch if you grew up in that era. Like if you're an adult watching that compared to having watched the Keaton movies, you're like, what the fuck is going on?
I
But as a
didn't hate
kid,
that
like-
movie as a kid. Yeah.
No, as a kid, it's a fun fucking movie because it's got all kinds of new toys, new equipment, everything you want.
Except George Clooney.
So we'll start. I'll go back to mine here. Obviously, Terminator, Predator, Terminator 2. Let's see. Twins has to go on there. Kindergarten Cop. I love Kindergarten Cop. Total Recall. Let's see. Last Action Hero. True Lies. End of Days I have to throw in there because I really like that. And then I guess number 10 would be The Running Man. Oh, so it's a lot of his classic stuff, but I like his comedy stuff too, man. Some people don't like Jingle All the Way though.
That's what I'm saying. Jingle All the Way is the best comedy from him for me. Twins, I want to like. I really do. Because it's Ivan Reitman, Danny DeVito, and Arnold, but I just don't have a good time with it. I don't know why.
See, that's one I don't even remember watching that for the first time, and I fucking love it for that reason. Now, Jingle All the Way could squeak out over The Running Man, but
Put the cookies down now.
and that's more nostalgic for your time frame because you were young when that came out, and like when that came out, I was kind of past the age of like that being the real fun audience time for me.
Yeah, I love it now
Ugh.
too because
Oh, I appreciate it for the satire it is, and fucking Sinbad in there with Arnold, fucking classic.
it's one of those movies you can rewatch that didn't do things that are like cringy and like out of pocket, and it didn't
Mhm.
do anything that's like this is too kidsy and it's not fun anymore. Like if you watch Three Ninjas now, for example, that one's not holding up so much. You know what is holding up? Heavyweights. Heavyweights holds up like a fucking champ, bro.
Oh yeah, that was very well written.
Sandlot holds up. Perfect.
Yep.
You know what I mean? There's some that are just gems that you can watch till you die. And then some of these
Yeah.
other kids' movies you watch later and you're like, oh,
I mean, me personally, I could swap Running Man and Jingle All the Way as number 10. And there's other stuff like some of his newer stuff, like the Expendables movies. I've never seen any of those. Have you?
no, I don't. I think it's a really cool concept that they did those movies, but like I didn't never see them.
You know, now that I'm like looking at his stuff, I think that'd be something I'd be, you know, worth watching at least once for those.
Yeah. Then he did that movie. What was it called? Escape Plan with Stallone about them escaping a prison.
Mm-hmm.
And then did sequels later without Arnold, but that was mildly interesting to see them, you know, finally doing something interesting together like that.
Yeah. Now, Junior was one of those Schwarzenegger movies that I did not ever get into.
Is that the president? No, that's the baby one.
That's the one where he's pregnant and it's got Danny DeVito in it as well.
Yeah.
Now, I have not seen that since I was a kid. And we saw that at the drive-in when I was a kid, so I probably fell asleep in it because I wasn't all that into it. But I feel like that's something we need to revisit just because it's fucking Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger's pregnant. So, like, that could be fucking fascinating.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like that's something that's worth looking at is like, you know, there's people probably out there that watch every fucking thing Arnold does. And, you know, I got a list of what I like from his stuff. And, you know, I'm not, you know, a diehard fan, but I'm also like, I fucking know the classics that he's done. So,
Well, that's the thing. I do want to say there's a couple that I do have interest in watching. And I do
Mhm.
think that you should take a second look at Commando if you haven't seen that in a while.
yeah, I haven't, oh man, I probably haven't seen that since I was a kid.
Yeah. That one's fun. Raw Deal I have not seen. And that's from 1986.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks fascinating, like an action-y Chicago outfit crime bosses. I'm reading words from it. FBI agents. I don't know. Red Heat, though. Stars Arnold Schwarzenegger as Soviet policeman Ivan Danko and Jim Belushi as Chicago policeman Detective Art Ritzk.
Mm.
It's a buddy cop action comedy film. Haven't seen it, but I'd be interested in watching it just because I used to not really like Jim Belushi either. But after he was in Twin Peaks: The Return, love the guy.
He was one of those that he did a lot of goofy fucking roles to get work. And then he was
did, like,
always living in,
sitcom.
yeah, and then he was always living in the shadow of his brother,
Yeah,
which is fucked up. And then he was working on something else, which is why he wasn't in Blues Brothers 2000. I can't remember if he was doing a TV show or something at the time, but for one reason or another, it just didn't work out for him to be in there, even though he should have been in there.
yeah.
And nothing against John Goodman. I think he's a fucking great actor, and I fucking love him in The Righteous Gemstones. So good.
Yeah, I mean, all the Coen brothers stuff that he did was great too.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
What's that one called with what's his face? I mean, obviously there's the Big Lebowski, but there's he did that movie where he's staying in a hotel and he like that movie's fucking crazy. Barton Fink.
Oh,
You seen
okay.
that?
No, I have not.
It's by the Coen brothers. It stars John Turturro though. And he's a playwright who's hired to write scripts in Hollywood. And then he has like writer's block as soon as he's hired. And he's supposed to be writing like boxing pictures. John Goodman's also staying at the hotel and they bond. And then eventually, that's like a super weird and crazy movie, though. They're like a hotel fire and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that was my John Goodman rant.
I have not seen Dave. Have you seen Dave?
That's the president one. No, I haven't
Mhm.
seen Dave. It says
That's
he
a-
has a cameo as himself. That's the Kevin Kline one, right? Yeah. Sigourney Weaver, Frank Langella, Kevin Dunn, Laura Linney, Ving Rhames, Charles Grodin, Ben Kingsley. Interesting cast.
Yeah, that's directed by Evan Reitman too.
Yeah. I haven't seen Eraser either, have you?
I have no. Well, fuck. I think I have, but I'm just not 100% sure.
Oh shit! Chuck Russell directed that. Who did Dream Warriors, The
Oh, okay.
Blob, Witchboard from 2024, huh?
Interesting.
Yeah. Out of all these though, what did I see? I've seen Maggie. I didn't see, but I was kind of aware of it. Terminator
Yeah.
Genesis, I saw obviously, and Dark Fate. Kung Fury 2. I don't know if we'll ever even see the actual release of that. We'll see. The first one was like interesting and funny, but like, yeah, he's supposed to play the president in that one. Did you ever see the Kung Fury?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, it's interesting. Like, it's not my favorite, but it's fun enough.
Right.
Huh.
Looking at his TV appearances, it's funny. He appeared in Tales from the Crypt.
No, really?
2.5 Men.
Yeah, some
And
random.
Fubar show that was on Netflix last year that I did not watch. Did you?
I did not. I didn't hear much about it, so.
I remember seeing ads for it and stuff. I just never checked it out.
Yeah, it's crazy. The amount of shit he's been in. And then, like, some of it's, like, so iconic. And then some of it just, like, so, easily forget it.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I guess you could say that for anybody, really, right? Everyone has a start. And
Especially with people with big enough careers. Like, Nicolas Cage comes to mind.
mm-hmm.
Like, he's in some of the stuff that's like some of the best movies ever made and some of the most forgettable shit that you'll never watch.
Yeah. And I want to say he did all those movies just to get paid, because to pay off like debt and shit. And I want to say Bruce Willis did the same thing near the end. Like, he just did a lot of direct-to-TV stuff just to, and that maybe, need to look that up and see how accurate that is. I want to say I heard about that, but
now I'm looking at Nicolas Cage. I can't help it. Fast Times, Valley Girls, Rumblefish. His first 3 movies. I'm aware of those 3. That's funny.
yeah. Oh yeah. So if you go to Bruce Willis's stuff, I think Bruce knew he wasn't going to be. He must have known he wasn't in amazing shape, because he did a lot of fucking shit.
Yeah.
Like, from 2019 on, he did so much fucking shit. Oh, he's on the Orville? As a voice, uncredited voice. Okay. Yeah, but Bruce Willis did like a huge list of fucking movies, and I haven't seen a single fucking one of them past Glass, I don't think.
Yeah. We need to cover Vampire's Kiss sometime.
Oh, yeah? Is that one of his earlier roles?
That's Nicolas Cage.
Oh, Nicolas Cage.
I'm a vampire. I'm a vampire. You haven't seen that one? Holy
I have
shit.
not.
It's from 1989.
There's some fucking crazy stuff, and it's crazy you can get down the rabbit hole here, right? We're looking at Arnold movies and then just spitballing and finding people that like go with the flow of these.
Well, that's the thing. Nicolas Cage is one of those people that just interests the fuck out of me because his career is so interesting. Like, a lot of people have only seen certain things, so they think he's like a laughable, like, just weirdo. You know what I mean? Just different eras of his work. And if we're just looking at these, just the 80s, right? Fast Times, Valley Girl, those are similar vibes. Rumblefish, a bunch of stuff I haven't seen. Then Raising Arizona, works with the Coen brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Does Vampire's Kiss, which is fun. Then he does Wild at Heart with David Lynch.
Yeah.
And then later in the 90s, he's doing like The Rock, Con Air, Face Off,
Yeah.
Gone in 60 Seconds. Like,
Which is good. Gone in 60 Seconds is good.
and then he starts doing like sort of more adventure-y stuff, like National Treasure. He did Lord of War, Weatherman.
Yeah, Lord
World
of War is
Trade
good
Center.
too. Yeah.
I like the Wicker Man remake, even though it's, you know, it's one of those ones people laugh at. Ghost Rider.
Mm-hmm. He did several of those, did he not?
Yeah. He was in the Kick-Ass, the first movie.
Now that's a fascinating fucking concept. So we got the MCU, the expanded MCU. You think fucking Ghost Rider could appear in any of this shit?
It would not surprise me. I don't think he would say no either.
No,
because if
he'd fucking do it. I think he had fun doing those movies, man.
yeah. I would honestly not mind, because I did not hate the first Ghost Rider movie. Ghost Rider portrayal and his portrayal is fine, but I think the villain, it just, nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah.
Like Ghost Rider himself is a cool character, but I didn't ever really read many comics of him. I couldn't tell you who any villains would be. But
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with that character. But that's such an iconic character, though, for Marvel, that I'm really surprised you haven't heard more people like begging for another version of that.
like he should have been in that Deadpool and Wolverine for sure.
Oh, absolutely. When you think about that, I'm really surprised he wasn't, because he would have been perfect there.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we can wrap this thing up, man. Like Running Man, fucking wild, and then we obviously went down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
What would you rate original Running Man?
Out of 10, maybe 6.5 or a 7. Like, I don't think it's incredible. I just like it. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
can see that it's like, even when I'm watching it, I know I'm not watching like fucking the greatest sci-fi movie of all time, but that's kind of like the appeal too. So
Yeah, no, I get that. Yeah, I was gonna say I'd rate it 7 out of 10. I mean, it's good. It's not amazing. And I think that's one of those movies that nostalgic ties really enhance it for a lot of people. And I totally get that, because there's movies I like that people don't like, and it's strictly because of nostalgia. You know, you grew up with it. It's a comfort movie. You know it in and out. I get that. But I had enough fun with this movie. It's something I'll rewatch on occasion. It's not going to be like an annual viewing probably, but I will watch it at least once more this year, just ahead of the new one when it comes out. I don't know if I'll watch the new one first and watch the Arnold one to get it home, or how we'll play that all out when it comes. But yeah. I give it a 7 out of 10. Good.
I think we're on the same page then,
Yeah.
for the most part. And that's that for this week's show.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll have some newer movies to talk about. Neither one of us have had a chance to get out and hit the theater. So
Yeah,
We'll
we can
see.
also, we need to start watching the Final Destination movies, so we can just do like we probably don't want to just do 5 weeks of Final Destination movies. We can probably do like one full episode on all of the movies if you have a
Yeah.
time to watch them between now and, like, we'll give it, I don't know, at least a few weeks before we do that, just so you have time to watch them all. I've seen them
When's-
enough that I could easily do it, but
When's the sequel come out?
Bloodlines Final Destination. It's like May 16th. So a month.
Okay. Yeah, we should have time to do that.
I've been doing them all on my channel. I just did the first one on VHS.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And I just got the second one on VHS in the mail today. What's interesting is I covered the third movie, has a special feature, like a choose your own adventure.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've heard about that on the DVD.
Yeah, it's called Choose Their Fate, and I did a whole video on it, and it's actually like my third highest viewed video now. It has been creeping up the last few weeks, I guess, just because the anticipation of the new movie. So,
Well, that's a pretty unique feature. When did that one come out?
the third one, 2006, I want to say.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
what was that Netflix series that basically did the same thing? Like you pick how the story went. You know, they shot a bunch of different shit, and you choose like which way you wanted the characters to go.
Yeah, I did never watch that, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but obviously someone saw that and was like, "Oh, we should do a series of that." Probably based off having that DVD, is what I'm guessing.
Yeah.
So
But that movie features Mary Elizabeth Winstead as the lead.
nice. Yeah, the two movies that are in theaters right now that I really need to see, I hope I get a chance to see, but only time will tell, is Death of a Unicorn and Hell of a Summer. So I know either
Yeah.
way I'll see those at home.
Sinners comes out in like 4 days, I think, too, man.
Yeah, I think that comes out Thursday. So it's like,
I
damn,
want to see
and
that,
that one
too.
looks really good. To me, that one's got From Dusk Till Dawn vibes all over it.
That's what I've been saying since I saw the trailer, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, I'm fucking all about that. Michael B. Jordan's fucking gold, man. He's so good.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see that.
We watched
All right.
Get Out. Oh,
But
sorry. I
yeah.
was just gonna say we watched Get Out the other night for the first time in a long time.
Oh, that's a good one.
I've only seen it like once or twice. I still prefer Nope. I think that's my favorite Jordan Peele one, but like Get Out's a close number 2 on that. It's fun. Forgot that what's his face was in it too. Caleb Landry, who's in Twin Peaks: The Return as well.
Yeah.
And he was in the Dead Don't Die with Bill Murray and Adam Driver.
Jim Jarmusch. Yeah, that's a pretty good movie too. That's one I need
Anyway.
to watch again. But yeah, we'll get back to it. Next week I will be a year older because my birthday's on Sunday, and we'll record, or not record, but we'll go live on Monday or Tuesday and see what the game plan is.
A year older. Shit.
Yeah.
Make it stop.
It doesn't, I don't think, until you're dead.
I guess
So,
it does stop then, huh?
I mean, you won't know that it stopped, I guess, unless you know that you're dying or you're able to worry about that. But
I could stop it now. I could stop the aging process for you.
I could immediately stop it. What if I could tell you? It goes back to the stupid saying I always tell anybody in life or at work or whatever. You can do anything you want in life. Lots of things you can only do once. Anything you want to do, you can do it at least once, probably. May not get to do it a second chance.
No, yeah, you may be locked up forever afterwards, but
Well, you may be locked up. You may not survive. Who knows? But most things in life you can do at least once. Doesn't mean you should. Just it's just something that can happen.
all right. Well, before
Well,
the
we'll s-
FBI flags this, let's get out of here.
We probably already are on the flag list, and all they do is like just watch the cams in here. I'll make eye contact when you watch me
Yeah.
later. All right. Well, I'm gonna have to say goodnight.